Hi and welcome. My name is Priyanshu, and this screencast is related with the Angular application structure and the component. So today's agenda is application structure and component. Okay, so let's get started. So in the last video we have seen how to set up the Angular application, our application as a quick start. If you guys don't you didn't see that video, so please see that video so you can get the idea about how to get set up our Angular 2 application. Okay, so let's move ahead. We're having a few folders and some files in our extracted folder. So first is app is app contain all the related application development files, so we are going to develop inside it. So and second is E2E. This is related with the testing related files. Next is module underscore node underscore module. So this contain all the dependency related files or the packages which we installed in a previous video from the npm installed by npm install command. And next is our package.json file, so which contain the dependencies related with our applications and for development purpose. So that's our package.json. So as we know, the Angular 2 application is single page application, so our application is inside the index.html file. So this is our application file. So inside that we have our Angular 2 application get rendered in the my app custom tag. So that custom tag nothing but the component which is a root component of our application. So as we discussed in the previous video, that component can be a collection of or the collection of child component, and that child component may be a collection of other child component or grandchild component. So we also saw the. Now let's move to our app folder. So app folder contain we are going to build or create our component inside the app folder. Okay, so by default we have app.component .ts in file. Inside that we having the app component, which is our root component. How that component will identify as a root component? So for that we having a app.module.ts file. This is the our root module. So in every Angular 2 application at least contain a one module. So as we discussed in the previous video, that our modules are the collection of other component or other modules also. So inside that module, as we know, in the Angular 2 application contain at least one module. So in our application, so for the root module we having the app module. So inside that we having the that app modules is defined by using ng module decorator. It's also a class, and which is decorated by the ng module decorator. So inside that there are the few properties, that is import, declaration, and the bootstrap. So in that bootstrap we have passed our app component as a startup component from where application will get render. So we will go as a deeper dive in the coming of sections or the coming of videos. So now we are focusing about how the application will get bootstrap. So inside that we have inside our module we have bootstrapping our app component. So that's the module. Now go to our app.component file. So as we discussed in previously in TypeScript, the component are nothing but the class. App folder we having the app.component.ts file. Inside that we have that app component. So component are nothing but the class which is attached the metadata, we can attach the metadata by using the component decorator. So that component decorator having the two important property, that is the selectors, which is the CSS selector, and second is the template. So it contains the HTML code. So selectors identify where to render our template or our component. So that's the our component. So now we will create our component, our own component, that is the courses component, and we will register our that component with our app module, and we will use that component inside the app component or in our root component as a child component. So that's our agenda of this video. Create new file, courses, we will name as a courses.component.ts, course.component.ts. So for getting the decorator of component, we have to import from the Angular library, import in curly bracket component @Angular. Okay, so we have imported our component decorator. So guys, what is export? So if we want to use our component outside our file, so we have to export it by using export keyword. Export class, this is our component. So how we have to attach the metadata by using component decorator, and which takes JSON object, and we having two properties, that is selector, we are take as a course as a CSS selector, which will be used as a courses tag inside a app component. So next is template colon, so this is list of courses, list of h2. Now our template is ready. This is single line template. If you want to make as a multi-line template, so we just replaced our single quote to backticks, which is just below the escape keyword of your keyboard. Okay, so our component is get ready, and we have written our courses component. Now the next step is we have to register our component with the module, that's our app module. Next step is we have to register our courses component to our app module. So we then after that we can use that component inside in anywhere inside our application. Okay, so for getting our courses component, we have to import it dot component. Okay, so we have imported. So guys, no need to write the extension, so it will automatically take without extension. So this is in the current directory, so /. So we have to pass that course component inside the declaration array. So we can pass the component and directive and the pipes. So we will discuss in the next in the upcoming lectures what is directives and the pipes. So for the registration of pipes and directives, we will pass it in the declaration array. Okay, so we have registered our component. Now next step is use our component inside our root app. So inside that, our selector, CSS selector, which is we have written as a selector, so we just use that selector as a tag, closing tag, courses course. Now last step has done, that we have use our child component or that course component inside our parent component or root component. So now start our application. So for starting our application, to go to the command prompt. So we can open our command prompt by Control Shift and P, so it will, and type new command, so it will, and enter, so it will open our command prompt, which inside our root directory or application. Okay, so just for starting our application, type npm start command. Now our light server is started in the background, and type and our application is get running. So here our parent component, that is the app component, and inside that we have used our child component, that is the courses component. So guys, our application is now running. So whenever we do changes inside our application or the template, so the TypeScript compiler light server will detect that changes, and it will recompile our file and push the changes inside in the browser. So change our app component or courses component. Let's go to the courses component, type here li list of courses. We will make C, C++, Java /ul. Okay, now I'm saved it, and it TypeScript compiler will detect changes and it reload our browser. Now look at this. Okay guys, so we have successfully created our our component, and it incorporated inside our root component, that is the app component. Now in the next section we will going to see how to pass the data from component to the template, and from template to component, that is the data binding. So thanks for watching guys, have a nice day, thank you.